I thought it's about time I started looking at pallet wood. So today I'm going to show you how to make a quick and easy straightening jig, which should take only 1 hour to make. Oops. Making sure that's tight against the fence, the whole side. So I'm sort of pushing it in nice and tight. Oh. All right, so basically how this is gonna work, I've got one piece here which is a bit wider than this top one. And I bought these little toggle clamps. Now how these work is we're gonna screw them down to this top piece here. We're then going to open it up, slide our pallet slat in. We're then gonna lock this one down. We're gonna have a second one here in the middle and a third one here on the end. Once that's all locked in, we could then take this over to our table saw, push it through, and should be able to get one straight edge. And once we get that first straight edge, we're all good, because then we can flip that around, put it against our fence, and we can basically make our pallet slats parallel. 100 millimeters in from each end, put a clamp in the center, and then I'm gonna put one of them right in the middle of the boards. And then for screw locations, I'm gonna go 2 on the end, sort of 2 here, 2 on the other end, 2 here, and I'm gonna go just 2, just one either side of that middle clamp here. 30 millimeter screws. Now this board is 17 millimeters thick, this board's 17 millimeters thick, so you got 34 in total. So these screws won't go through. And I've got a 5 millimeter bit for the clearance hole, and I've got this little 2 millimeter bit for the pilot hole. So what I'm actually gonna do, I'll drill through first with the pilot hole. And if I go I've set the drill bit, so if I go all the way to the bottom of the drill, it won't go through the other side. Then I'll come in that same hole and go in with the 5 mil hole. But with this clearance hole bit, I'm only gonna go through this top board. I might put some tape on the drill bit just so I can make sure I don't go all the way through. Then, after the glue's applied, I can get my screws straight through the clearance hole, into the pilot hole, and the boards will pull in tight. 100 mil in, put a mark like this. Okay, here. Line, sort of trace. I'm just going to chuck some tape on there, making sure I don't drill into that second piece. Glue, glue, glue. Probably one of my favorite parts of woodworking, actually. You can spread it out if you want. I'm going to go get a little packer, little carry packer, and spread it out. I like to even it out. Some people don't like to do this step, but you never know if there's going to be like a dry spot in between a bunch of glue, and my OCD just can't have that. So I like to make sure every little piece of my glue ups have glue. All right, glue's on. Now I'm gonna flip this over, chuck a clamp on here, try and flush it up. Get one in the middle as well. Straight through with the pilot hole, all the way down. In with the clearance, drill to the tape, and then in with the All right, so I'm going to quickly clean off this glue before it dries, and then we'll move on to attaching our 3 clamps. So I'll just try and get these as close to the center as possible. Actually, I might use my little device for this that you've seen in another video. I love this thing. Right in the center. Bang. Right in the center, bang. And you might not think that's much, but this drill will just fall into that hole now, and you get perfect center results. Okay, this is gonna be a bit of an issue. I'm not gonna be able to get this in, so I'm gonna grab one of my extensions rod. This one's a little bit over the top, but this is the only one I have, so I'm gonna be drilling right up here. All right, so here's the finished product. We've got our 3 clamps all on. They all work really nicely. What I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna, I guess this is the referencing edge to the fence. I'm now just gonna use this as the referencing edge against the fence and just take just buzz 0.5 millimeter off that one side, and then I'll never have to do that again. Okay, so I found this pallet at my dad's house. It's actually a hardwood pallet. They're kind of hard to find. Most of the time you just find pine ones. Now, if I my plan is to kind of hit it evenly on its way up. You can see the nails sort of pulling out as I'm doing it. That was a lot easier than I thought. I guess the rubber doesn't actually dent the timber as well, which is good. Maybe let me know in the comments how you pull your pallets apart. All right, so I managed to get 3 slats off pretty good. I don't think I've cracked any yet. Got my claw hammer here. So as you can see, when it sits in here, this one's overhanging by about 5 millimeters. And this is a smaller width pallet slat than normal. But if yours was 110 or 120 mil wide, it would just hang over and that would be fine to use. Now let's see if these toggle clamps actually clamp down. Oh, they lock in nice. Beautiful. And the good thing is you can see that this pallet is actually not straight because it's touching here at this end, it's touching here at this end, and you can see there's probably a 3 mil gap in the middle. Now, one thing about using a straightening jig is that you want to put the concave side, so the side that's actually concaving into the board, you want to put that hard up against your straightening jig, because if you use the convex on the other side, you would have a bit of a rock, and you can see that rocking back and forth there, 6 to 7 millimeters. Have a look at that. I don't even reckon you'll be able to get a 1 millimeter shim under the bottom of that slat. That is perfectly straight. This jig has done exactly what we wanted to do. Now, all we have to do to fix this up or finish the job is bring this fence in and just rip the last millimeter off. Have a perfectly straight. What I might do now is just run this through the thicknesser on each face of the board just to show you how nice we can get this piece of timber and fully dress it. Have a look at that. Back to beautiful Tassie oak, I think this is, or it might be Victorian ash, but it's definitely a hardwood. All right, thanks for watching this video. I'm really happy with how this straightening jig turned out. I mean, have a look at these. Like, if you can turn this pallet into this with just a few tools, the straightening jig, I mean, you gotta be happy with that. So if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the workshop next time. One take, baby, woo, woo.